Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, my voice is clear enough for all of you. So, my name is Christine Ismail, and thank you so much, Ms. Selfie, for giving me this opportunity to lead us in this last session of the webinar. Coming to the last session of the webinar, we are going to have another great speaker that will share about a topic that I'm sure all of you don't want to miss. So we are going to have Ms. Santri Djahimo as the last speaker. But before I give the chance to Ms. Santri, I would like to give a short introduction of her. Ms. Santri Djahimo is currently teaching as lecturer of English Department of Nusa Tenggara University and also takes a role as the head of Language Laboratory of Faculty of Teachers Training and Education, Nusa Tenggara University. Besides her profile as lecturer, she is also a researcher and writer that distributed in some works and also has published a lot of writings, especially in language teaching and language acquisition. She is also one of the members of Women in TESOL and has participated in some national and international conferences and seminars as presenter and also keynote speakers. So without further ado, I give the time and chance to Ms. Santri to deliver her presentation. Ms. Santri, time is yours.
All right. Thank you, Christine. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. Well, all of us have heard from three great presenters. The first one, Ibu Rini, has talked about general issues about scholarship in U.S. Universities. And then Mike has shown us the ways to apply by giving us information about scholarship in UIC, Chicago. And just now, Yuli has elaborated things related to study in Arizona, ASU Thunderbird. And in this opportunity, I'd like to share with you again the issues about scholarship, but mine is a bit general. It's not specific to a particular areas or particular university. Now let me share my screen. Okay. So mine is about the power of planning and preparation. So it's a kind of motivational one. And my main aim is to encourage each and every one of you to be able to start making a move related to applying for scholarship, continue your study, and so on and so forth. Let me start. The content of my presentation is divided into 5 sections. The first one is frequently asked questions. So questions which are usually asked by scholarship hunters, scholarship seekers. And then the second one is about planning and preparation. The third one is problems, which usually appear. The third one is solutions over the problems. And the last one is closing. Now, let me start by giving you clues or giving you several questions that usually come into your mind. The first one is, what types of scholarship am I looking for? If you are the one who keeps on asking these kind of questions, I'd like to let you know that there are several types of scholarship. Yuli has just shared the types of scholarship, but I'm going to add more types here. The first one is partial and full scholarship. Partial means the scholarship provider just give you let's say they just provide tuition fees for you, but you have to pay for your own living costs and travel expenses, or on the other way around. But if you get full scholarship or fully funded program, from fully funded program, for example, then the scholarship will cover all of the cost. So they will pay your tuition fee. They will also cover your living costs and travel expenses. The second type is general versus specific scholarship. General means for all. So for all gender, for all regions, for all departments, all majors. But if you come to specific scholarship, it means that the scholarship is only for people from particular country or particular area. And well, if you want to choose like the major, then it's only for particular or certain major. And that's what it means by specific, general and specific scholarship. And this one, the third one, is clear enough for you, I guess. Local, national, and international scholarship. So it refers to in-country or in-region scholarship. You have, like students of Undana, if you have scholarship from local government or scholarship from Undana itself, then it means you are having local scholarship. National scholarship is, well, the scope is in national level, and then international scholarship, as you know, has been mentioned earlier by the previous speakers. Now we have like for Australian universities, it's very popular. AAS is very popular. It used to be ADS. Now it turns out to become AAS. And DICTI has provided many types of scholarship related to this international scholarship. Merit-based scholarship. By looking at the name, you know that this kind of scholarship will depend on outstanding academic record. So if you have high GPA, if you have great GPA, then there's a big possibility for you to be awarded this kind of scholarship. Although there are many other requirements followed, but you can't apply for this kind of scholarship if you have like below average GPA. And again, the standard of GPA is different. Ibu Raini mentioned earlier that let's say university in Australia, we have different system of using numbers in GPA. For example, in Australian universities, they don't have like 1 to 4. They have high distinction, and so on and so forth. And the next one is need-based scholarship. It is defined as financial aid given to students on the basis of financial need. So who qualifies for this kind of scholarship? Those who come from low-income background. And of course, well, it's not because you come from low-income background and 100% you will get the scholarship. Of course, it has to be supported by your GPA, your academic record. And the next one is community service scholarship. Maybe it's new to you, but there is a kind of scholarship like this, and it's usually given to students that have done volunteer service. Usually the requirement is you have to be willing to perform, for example, 10 hours of community service in a week, or 300 hours in a year in order to be able to be awarded this kind of scholarship. And then the second questions that usually popped into your head is, how big is my chance to get a scholarship? Some people keep on asking these questions to themselves even before they are trying to step into the application process. So whenever people want to apply for a scholarship, and they always ask themselves, am I going to be able to do that? How big is my chance to get it? First, you need to fulfill all the requirements in order to bigger your chance to get a scholarship. If you fail to do this, then there is a big chance for you to fail or to be rejected. The second one is you have to be able to show your potential to do great things, because this is very important in getting the scholarship. If you can show your potential, then the provider will have much interest in you, and you will have bigger opportunity to be awarded this kind of scholarship. The third one is, of course, you need to have good English skills to be able to fulfill the requirement of, let's say, the score of TOEFL or IELTS. And it's necessary for you to have good academic English skills. So it's not only good English skills, but also good academic English skills. Those two are different, okay? English skills include 4 main skills and other components. Receptive skill consists of listening and reading, and productive skills consist of speaking and writing. And we have other components like vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and so on and so forth to support your English skills. But on the other side, we also have to master academic English skills. Even if you have good English skills, doesn't necessarily mean that your academic English skill is great as well. Your academic skills includes reading effectively and critically. Of course, everyone knows how to read, right? But how to read effectively and critically is another story. You need to really master this kind of thing to be able to come to a particular stage of academic English level. And then you have to be able to make notes. Well, let me put it this way. If you go abroad to continue your study, you get scholarship from, let's say, one of American university. And it means that you need to sit in the classroom, listen to your lecturer talking, and need to make notes, and everything has to be in English. So yeah, this is one of the academic English skills which is necessarily needed. We'll talk about these academic skills in a moment, but I need to move now to another questions, which is, can I get a scholarship for any levels of study? Can I get a scholarship for my undergraduate? Can I get scholarship for my master's degree, PhD, and so on and so forth? Yes. You also have been informed from 3 previous presenters about those level of study. And you have the opportunity to apply for scholarship for each and every level. They have scholarship for undergraduate, and then for master's degree, for PhD as well. But of course, you have to graduate from undergraduate level before applying for master's degree, right? If you are now still sitting in the undergraduate program, you can't directly apply for PhD. That's impossible. So after undergraduate, and then you apply for master's degree. If you are now holding master's degree, then you are ready to apply for PhD level. And another scholarship is for a level is for postdoctoral. And those who are ready to apply for postdoctoral is those who have or who are now holding PhD or who are now holding doctoral level. And then the next one is academic research. And your destinations have to have this kind of program in order to be able to award you this kind of scholarship. The last one is various, any other courses or short courses, non-degree courses, or whatever you name it. But usually they award you this kind of scholarship for you to go for a training, a particular training in management, in research, and medical and other stuff for a particular short time, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, until 6 months. So this is very interesting actually for those who would like to go and learn something abroad without having any intention to continue their study first and then to have the kind of degree. Some people say to seriously study. Well, in fact, if you do this kind of courses, you have to study. You have to study in a very serious way, actually. Next, other question is, how do I get information about scholarship I'm looking for? There are many ways to get information. The first one is through this website, scholarship here, scholarship search services. You just Google it and it's all there. And then you can get information from university websites. You have already got from 2 websites, right? From Pak Mike and Pak Yuli. And then you can search for others. From governmental website, from Indonesian website, and you will be directed to Dikti and any other website, institutional website, and any other countries. Next one is academic links. Social media, it's very popular. You are playing with social media a lot, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and people tend to share this kind of information in social media as well because it's spread fast. And through seminars, webinars, and talks like this. So you have to consider yourself lucky to be able to be here today joining this webinar because you will get like plenty of information, much information related to scholarship and all other important stuff. Next question, am I eligible to apply? Are you the one who is asking these kind of questions? And now let me ask you this question, are you eligible to apply? I'm sure only you yourself know better. So only you yourself can answer this question, whether or not you're eligible to apply for this kind of scholarship. But basically, the requirement refers to nationality or citizenship. For example, if the requirement says you have to be Indonesian to be able to apply or to be able to be eligible to apply for this kind of scholarship, then if you think you're Indonesian, pure Indonesian, then yeah, it means you are eligible. If you're not, then you're not eligible, as simple as that. And then your GPA. If the requirement says the minimum should be like 2.75 or 3.0 or even 4, then you need to look into your GPA, whether or not it's eligible, whether or not it requires whether or not you can fulfill the requirement by looking at your GPA. And then this is the most important one, English proficiency. Do you think your English level is good enough? Do you think your English level fits the requirement? Or usually when we're talking about English proficiency, we are talking about, because we are dealing with scholarship, right? So when we are talking about English proficiency, we're talking about TOEFL, TOEIC, IELTS, and like GRA mentioned by Pak Yuli, I guess, or GMAT. Next, work experience. Some scholarship providers require the applicant to have a certain amount of time of working experience. For example, the applicant should have 3 years experience, working experience, or 5 years of working experience. And in that case, if you don't have any working experience, then they will reconsider to accept you or to award you that kind of scholarship. Research or publication, this is very important, especially for those who would like to apply for PhD. I'm not really sure about American universities, but for most of universities in Australia, if you didn't go through at least 30% of minor thesis or 30% of research in your master degree, then you should have like plenty of publication in order to be able to do your PhD. So if you think that when you did your master degree, you went through 100% course only, you didn't have any, like even 30% of research, then it's time for you to make effort in publication area, in research and publication. And so it's going to be easier for you to apply for PhD level. And a level of study. Back to my explanation, my previous explanation, you need to go per level. So you can't jump from undergraduate to PhD. So bachelor degree to master degree, and then master to PhD. And if you are holding PhD, then you can apply for postdoc degree. Next one is about the documents. What documents should I prepare? Certificate of previous level of study. If you're applying for master degree, then you have to provide a certificate of your bachelor degree or undergrad. And if you're applying for a PhD, you need to prepare your certificate for master's degree. And it applies to transcript of grades as well. Everything has to be in English, has to be translated, officially translated. You can't translate it by yourself, even if your English is great, but you can't do that by yourself. And then letter of reference, you can ask this kind of thing from your previous supervisors or any other lecturers that you think can really support you in pursuing your higher degree. LOA is usually given to you from university where you applied. LOA stands for letter of acceptance. It can be full LOA. It can also be conditional. So if it's conditional, it means that you need to, for example, if your TOEFL score is, let's say, is 5, and the university needs you to have 6 or 5.5 as your score, they will, looking at this case, they will only give you LOA, but not full LOA. It's only like, it's very conditional. So you will get full LOA after you can reach the score. But not all universities offer conditional one. Research outline, again, it can be applied to master degree, but it's something essential for PhD level. If you are applying for PhD scholarship, then usually the providers will ask you to provide research outline, if not research proposal. So far, research outline is acceptable, and other documents required. It really depends on the provider. Now let's come to planning and preparation. Okay, in planning stages, first of all, you need to decide what to study. Okay, you can't say, I want to study anything. I want to study, well, it's not important what I want to study. The important one is I want to go abroad. No, that's not the thing. First, you need to know what you are going to study. Applied linguistics, geolinguistics, management, information technology, whatever, but you have to make up your mind. And then the second one, you need to find the right university. You can look at this university based on many aspects. It can be from the rank. It can be from where the university is situated. It can be from your own justification. So when you think, okay, I want to find a university where easy in, easy out, if you know what I mean. Easy in, easy out means, well, it's easy for me to get in, and it's not too difficult for me to graduate. Because some universities are not easy in, easy out. Or some others even just over easy in to you, but it's kind of difficult for you to be out. But all in all, it really depends on your quality, actually. But if you can find something which will make your life easier, then why find more difficult things? And then the third one is research topic. Again, especially for PhD level students. This is very important because once you decide your research topic, let's say it's based on experience, okay? I got a friend and her GPA, at the time her GPA was not that high. And she was accepted because her research topic was interesting. So what I can say is research topic is essentially needed here, especially for PhD level. And after thinking about your research topic, you need to find potential supervisors. And also you need someone to talk to, someone who can be relied on, related to these scholarship matters, okay? And after everything is ready, everything's set, then you need to find scholarship to apply. And in preparation stages, first one, you need to prepare all the documents. Again, if it says that the documents are essentially needed, it means that you need to prepare the documents, okay? If it's an option, then that's okay. But if it's essentially needed, then like it or not, you have to prepare the documents. And then English proficiency, you English have to Your English has to be better than before. You need to improve your English in order to be able to get the scholarship, in order to be able to get good scores for either TOEFL or IELTS or any other international standard test. And you also need to check university whether or not it can offer scholarship. Check other scholarship providers. There are many out there. And you need also to prepare academic and other supporting skills. Again, when we are talking about academic skills, we are talking about the things I mentioned before: reading effectively and critically, making notes in lectures and presentation, delivering presentation, participating in academic seminars like this, and the previous 2 or 3 webinars that we conducted, and planning, writing, researching, academic essays, critical review, writing thesis, annotated bibliography. All those skills are included in other supporting skills. You can't avoid from those skills when you are doing your master's degree or PhD. If you don't like academic writing, then forget about your dream to continue your study. Because once you decide to continue your study, once you decide to apply for a master's degree or for PhD, let alone PhD, you need to like, you need to love academic writing and all other academic skills. So get used to it from now. And what problems or potential problems? I have divided into 3 types. The first one is problems related to administration staff. Incomplete documents. When you have incomplete documents, your application won't be considered. And the second one is incomplete or confusing answers. In answering the question in the application, make sure that it has to be straightforward. It has to be clear as possible. Make sure that when people read your answer, they don't get confused. The third one is lacking knowledge and or information. And this third one will lead to the fourth one. So if you're lacking knowledge or information, then it will lead you to have a wrong choice of university and or department, or you're going to choose wrong, major for your study. The second type is academic problems, which is related to English proficiency. Again, I keep on talking about English proficiency because it's very important. And academic English, look how I differentiate English proficiency from academic English, because basically they're different. Having good English or knowing English doesn't necessarily mean that you are having good academic English. They are different. Academic skills, I mentioned before, and learning management. The last type is related to psychology matters. The first one is culture differences. Once you're there, you will realize that your culture or the culture from where you come from is totally different from the culture of the country where you're going. So like you need some adaptation here and there. Language barriers, but if you know English, it won't be a good problem for you. Homesickness. Some people think that it's a piece of cake. I won't feel that way. Well, I can deal with that. Well, the story is going to be different once you're there. So this can be a big issue, I'm telling you, and this will affect your performance in academic life. And there are many other adjustment challenges related to these psychology problems. Solutions. Now, solution based on the 3 problems I mentioned before. In administration, I think the solution is you need to make much effort to learn, not only to learn, but also to find out more information about scholarship matters. You need to ask a lot of questions to people whom you think are going to be the source, who are going to give you good information. And then when you are talking about academic problems, first thing first, you need to study. So put study at the top of your to-do list. So if I may suggest you one thing, then it's study. If I may suggest you 10 things, then it would be study, 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 study. If I may suggest you 100 things, then from 1 to 100 should be study. So now you know how important study is as the solution of your academic problems. And psychology, you need adaptation. You need to adapt to a new community, and in order to get away of your feeling of your being homesick and so on and so forth, well, I think it's better for you to get involved with new useful activities. Not all activities are useful, so you need to pick and choose. Now, as the closing, now forget about the numbers, about the percentages here, okay? They are only decorations of my PowerPoint, but focus on the questions. Are you the one who? Well, I saw in Yuli's PowerPoint before, right? Are you the one? But my question here is, are you the one who first keeps on searching and dreaming but never applies? Now do the reflection. Are you the one who does this all the time, who always searches and dreams of getting scholarship, dreams of going abroad to do your higher education, but never applies? You will end up by sitting and waiting for the moon to come onto your lap. Are you the one? And the second one, are you the one who thinks that scholarship are only for top scholars? Are you the one who believes that scholarship awards are small and not worth the effort? I'm telling you, it's not small, big amount of money. Are you the one who doesn't bother applying because you're afraid of scholarship competitiveness? So, well, many questions, but those questions can only be answered by you. Only you yourself can judge your performance. Now, are you the one who feels that you're ineligible to apply because of your GPA, your low GPA, your poor English skills, your poor academic skills? Are you the one who thinks a scholarship application process is complicated and takes forever? Are you the one who is scared of living far from home and facing new things in new community? When you are about applying for scholarship and suddenly your mom's face will be in your head, and you will say to yourself, no, I'm not going to apply because I'm going to miss my mom all the time. That's another problem. And then the other one is, are you the one who has high motivation to get scholarship and has been making effort to reach your goals? So you need to decide which one is your type. Okay. Again, only you can judge yourself. Now you think about what type of scholarship seekers you are, and then I'm now providing a staircase with 8 steps there. It's well, more or less similar to Yuli's picture about climbing a mountain, but mine is staircase. Okay, starting from the first step, you tell yourself that I won't do it. And then you change a bit to I can't do it. It means that you have the motivation, but you need encouragement to do things. And then the third one, okay, I want to do it. After having the encouragement to do it, you will find out how to do it. How did I do it? And I'll try to do it. Finally, you come to the stage where you say, I can do it. I will do it. And when you are on the top, you say, all you can say is, yes, I did it. So don't be afraid. If you are now on the very first step by saying, I won't do it, don't worry. As long as you want to change your mind, tomorrow you will be on the second stair. And you will say, I can't do it. How can I do it? And then the third one, you will say, I want to do it. You ask questions, how did I do it again? Eventually, you'll be on the top and say, yes, I did it. So again, don't be afraid to fail. You need to be afraid if you don't want to try. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, Ms. Santri, for the presentation. You explored about the plans and also preparation in applying scholarship. Right when you start to share your screen, I personally thought that just by reading the title of your topic, which is the power of planning and preparation for scholarship hunters, I'm sure that it will answer some curiosities of the participants who are maybe preparing for scholarships, since you gave step-by-step explanation. Thank you so much, Miss. Now we move to the Q&A session. I give the chance to the fellow member of committees, Miss Carlin, to lead us in question and answer session. Miss Carlin, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. I hope all of you can hear me loud and clear. I am Johanna Sangaji, or you can call me Carlin, and I will lead this question and answer session. First of all, thank you, Ms. Santri, for sharing this information. They are really useful and motivate us as a scholarship hunters. The first question is from Mr. Orobo Mosas. As scholarship awardee, if in the process of studying, we can finish our study of studying and we can finish our study due to some reasons, what's gonna happen? And do we have some penalties if you want to take the same scholarship again? Ms. Santri, you can answer the question.
Okay, thank you, Carlin. First question is about if you can't finish your study within the time given, the period of time given, right? Well, it really depends on the content of the contract between you and the provider. In the contract, before you sign the contract, you need to read. And then understand, you need to fully understand the content of the contract before signing it. And so you know what happens if this, and this? What happens if you can't finish your study within a particular period of time? But based on my experience, I don't know, it was ADS, I think. Now it turns out to become AAS. When you can't finish your study within a particular period of time, then go home. That's it. without any degrees. They don't give you any penalty. I don't know whether or not the policy has changed, but as far as I know, the only thing happen is you go home. Let's say, based on the contract, you will be given 2 years to finish your master's degree. And after 2 years, you still can't finish your study without any important reasons. What I mean by important reasons is, for example, if you're sick in the middle of your study, you're very sick, you have to be hospitalized, and then you can't continue your study, they can consider about it. But if you can't make it within 2 years without any important reasons, without any urgent excuses, then you still have to go home, because your visa will be terminated by the time. And well, I don't think there's a kind of penalty for you. But when you reapply for the same scholarship, I think there's always a kind of consequence for that. They will reconsider to accept you, looking from your previous performance, right? So your performance will be justified usually based on your progress report given by the department where you are studying. So again, it really depends on the contract between you and the providers. Alin, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santri. Here is the second question from John Seran Surimalaka. The question is, how to get scholarship for the students at the border between Timor-Leste and Indonesia? Because we have many difficulties to get it. May Ms. Santri give any solution? Thanks.
I think these kind of questions is should be addressed to the ones who represent countries or universities like Ibu Rini, Pak Yuli, or Pak Mike, and not me, because well, I'm not so into the policy of this kind of scholarship.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Next question,
Santri.
please.
The third question is from William Mele. The question is, since applying for the scholarship is one of the most challenging applications, what about those who did not have outstanding accomplishments to thrive and stand out in their application? And also, how do they make up for the missing time during their previous study to have decent achievements to be considered by the scholarship provider?
Sorry, right. We didn't have outstanding accomplishment. Well, there are many requirements, right, in getting scholarship. I gave you the example. Previously, I mentioned an example about a friend of mine who couldn't fulfill one of the requirements about having great GPA. But since she had a great research topic, she was accepted. So, well, I think all the requirements are there, but it really depends on the way they judge, the way they what is it? They look at our application is really based on our performance. If we have great performance, if you have great skills, then missing one or two requirements, okay, I think. Like if you don't really have great GPA, But let's say your TOEFL score is very high or your IELTS score is very high, then they will consider your application, I think. Or if you have good research topic, you have awesome proposal, then they will decide to take you despite your low GPA, because it's just one of the requirements. The point is just have a try. Nobody knows what the future holds, right? Oh yeah, it's better trying than nothing. If you try, once a senior of mine used to tell me about this. If you are applying for the scholarship, then the answer will be accepted or rejected. But if you decide not to apply for a scholarship, then you won't get anything. You won't be accepted as well. So better apply and just wait for the result. Either accepted or rejected. But if you just sit and not doing anything, if you don't apply, then of course you'll not be accepted, right? Okay, Carlin.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santri. The next question is from Ms. Grace. The question is, Ibu Santri, should we have published articles prior to apply for scholarship?
I don't think it's a necessary requirement, but it's a kind of advantages, especially for those who are applying for PhD. And when they did the master degree, they didn't go through research project, or they didn't go through thesis writing or dissertation. Well, different universities have different names for that. So it's a kind of advantageous thing if you have published articles in international journal or reputable journals. So I don't think it's a must. It's a choice, but it's advantageous.
Okay, Ms. Santri. The next question is from Joshua Mesang. Do we also need to prepare for a research proposal before applying a master scholarship? Is it the same as writing any other research proposal?
Again, it depends on the providers. Several providers require applicants to choose which way to go, via 100% course or mixed course and research. If you choose research, well, at least 30% of research, then of course you need to prepare, well, I don't think research proposal, but research outline. And well, the way to write is more or less the same. You need to provide like background, background, and then literature review methods in a big frame.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santri. The next question we have a question from Isabella Kurnia. How important work experience to get the scholarship?
Sorry, come again?
The question is, how important is work experience to get the scholarship?
Work experience. Like I previously explained, that working experience, well, for particular scholarship, working experience is very essential. If they say, like, there is a list of requirement there, if they put like working experience, it has to be 3 years, for example, and they put in brackets essential, it means that it's really essential. But if it's kind of optional, then, well, they won't consider it as something important to judge here, to judge your application.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santri. And this is the last question from Maria Moni. Is there any age restriction for applying the scholarship?
Usually, yes. But again, different providers have different age limit for some providers. Like for PhD might be like 40, and for others might be 45. But I think for all scholarship, there is a kind of age limitation or age restriction.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Santri, for answering all of the questions.
You're welcome.
Now I would like to hand it over to my partner, Christine, as the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Scarlett, for leading us in Q&A session. And also thank you so much for Ms. Santri for sharing and exploring interesting topic and answering the question given by the participants. Hopefully what has been shared can help all of us, especially for those the scholarship hunters out there. I wish everyone luck in preparing for scholarship. So we are coming to the end of the webinar, and I would like to call Ms. Selfie and give back the screen to lead us for the closing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Christine and Carlin, for leading us through the presentation and also Q&A session. And we would also like to thank all of our amazing presenters for helping us and sharing things related to the tips and tricks and all other things related to scholarship. Thank you for doing that.